Let's go. Turn up the volume. From the basement of the Empire State, this is the Basement Surge with John and Frank.
3, 2, 1.
Welcome back to the Basement Surge, everybody. I have special guests today. Oh my God, I'm so freaking excited. Like, I'm getting the band back together. This is what this is, okay? On today's episode, I am joined by Mr. Brendan from Dad's Worldwide and Mr. Jeff Hunt from Jeff Needs Sports. Thank you very much, guys, for coming on.
My pleasure, man.
As always, no, it really does feel like a bit of a reunion. You guys realize we're at like 24 months of doing this stuff. Like this is, we've really hung on pretty well.
Yeah.
Considering each of us are a different kind of asshole, I think this has worked out as good as possibly can be.
Yes.
I mean, for God's sakes, Brendan's friends with my mom now. Like, this is amazing. This is amazing.
She comes to New Hampshire to visit me.
Yeah.
Does she really?
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, not really to visit me, but she comes to New Hampshire.
I've started to call him Dad. It's awkward, and yet I wouldn't trust anyone else more with my future than Brendan. So it's really working out nice.
That's great.
Oh God! All right. Well, on that note, I figured I get the band back together for this episode to talk some camping because I love to camp. I know these two guys love to camp, and so we've never done an episode on camping. So here we are.
I just want to be clear. It's kind of a love-hate relationship.
Okay. I think I'm with you, Brendan.
Yeah. Love the idea.
I know Jeff likes it a lot more than we do.
Yeah.
I have some different techniques that we'll talk about that make my camping, my current camping easier than others. Matter of fact, we just went to the boat and RV show here in Columbus, and we're going through some of the new the RVs and campers and stuff. As you get our age, you start thinking about the future and like, what's it going to hold? Where are you going to go? What are you going to do? So it was fun though. It's cool. It's amazing how far the technology's come. Like it's easier than ever and more expensive than ever to go camping.
So you're already looking at RVs and campers and all that. You already have a camper, I know that.
Mm-hmm.
When's the last time you were actually like pitch a tent?
That's personal. I'm glad Frank's not here to take this question. No, seriously. But seriously though, it hasn't been that long. Actually, you know what? It's been a little longer than I thought. Actually, we're on like year 4 of having the camper, and later in the show you'll find out some of the reasons why, but it's been about probably 3 or 4 years since we did. We used to do it all the time. We as soon as we got the Jeep, we would put all the camping gear, get a little rack on the back of the Jeep, pack everything up that we could squeeze into it and go for the weekends, and we had a good time that way. So but it's been a few years, I won't lie.
I think
I don't miss the moisture. And
the hard
most
surface.
importantly,
sleeping on.
That's taking a piss in the middle of the night was sometimes difficult depending on where you were staying, campground and so things like that, the conveniences. But I do miss some of it a lot. I'm not done doing it. But as I say that, it's been 3 or 4 years.
You're done.
I hear that a lot. I think, well, you know what? We'll get into it later. I got some news on why I may not be done.
Oh.
Uh-oh. Well, I grew up going camping all the time. I mean, my dad was big on it back in the early 90s. And, we used to go every summer, and, we used to go upstate New York. We used to go to the Adirondacks, and, it was just so much fun. But we always stayed at KOA camps, the glamping where you have a shower and, bathrooms. And but Brendan, did you have stuff like that? Or did you
as a kid, we roughed it. We were digging holes mostly. But most of the camping I did as a kid, I was actually with the Boy Scouts.
Oh, I always wanted to join the Boy Scouts. I'm a collector. I want to collect the patches, you know.
Yeah, it was all right. I eventually got kicked out, but you know that's another story.
Did you tell them no? Oh, I'm sorry.
No,
no,
it's not even.
We're there, so we're there already. Okay.
I just didn't do it good enough. All right, so
okay.
so it's awful. We did a lot of crazy stuff. Like I built my own igloo and slept in that for a night.
Yo.
Yeah,
I built my own igloo between two cars on the street here in Brooklyn once. I didn't sleep in it though.
Somebody slept in it.
Yeah,
in Brooklyn, somebody slept in that igloo.
Like, oh, this is better than the bridge spot, guys. Come on over here.
It's the smell of exhaust. Yeah.
So places like that, you know, where you're in the middle of winter, you're in the middle of nowhere. You're taking a dump in a hole, you know.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. As an adult, now we're hitting campgrounds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That sounds cool though. I'm not gonna lie, the building an igloo thing sounds real. That's not something we don't get enough snow to do that here in Ohio. It gets cold as shit, but we don't get we do. You couldn't plan it out. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like there's no way we have no idea what weekend we'll have the snow, and that starts from November to March. We're gonna get it, but we have no idea when we're gonna have enough snow to build an igloo. That sounds pretty cool, actually.
Yeah, it's like
one year, really cold.
One winter it snowed really bad here, you know. So me and my friends got all together and we shoveled sidewalks for our neighbors and everything, and we shoveled all the snow into one big pile, and then we dug out an igloo into it in between the cars, you know. So it was a lot of fun.
But you didn't sleep in that. You didn't sleep in that like
No.
Brendan did. That's some crazy shit right there.
No.
How warm was it, Brendan? Seriously, because I've heard about.
It's really warm. It actually it's quite insulating because so the idea is right, like you pile, like John said, you pile the snow as high as you can.
Oh, you weren't building like ice bricks and just doing some
no,
masonry? No,
not that.
No mortar. He's a plumber, for
We
God's
didn't
sake.
have that amount of time, you know. So
Can't afford to have him build an igloo.
yeah. No, basically you pile it as high as you can. You take a bunch of sticks, you measure 8 inches, right? And you just start jabbing the sticks into the side, right? And you go all the way around, all the way over the top, right? So now you have 8-inch walls. So when you're digging it out, right? You dig your hole out and then you dig out the center, you know, once you hit the sticks to stop. So, so it's, you know, an 8-inch wall is pretty insulating. So it wasn't bad. Honestly, I've slept in colder weather in tents. So, Jim and I went and rented an Adirondack, the coldest weekend of the year. One year, it was -30 out, and we were outside sleeping in
oh my God.
in a 3-walled shelter. And I think we woke. I woke up at 3 a.m. with my arm out of my sleeping bag, and it was like frozen.
Jesus.
Did your sleeve crackle when you moved your arm?
Dude, I was like, oh shit, like pulling it back in, and the fire had gone out. Yeah, it was like one mishap after another.
Wow.
It was crazy. So
I tell you what, there's nothing better when it's cold out though, and you get that sleeping bag, and you basically just have to seal it up to your forehead.
Your eyes hanging out.
But it's so comfortable when you're in it.
Yeah.
When you're in it, then you have to make some hard choices. Like, do I just piss myself?
Yeah.
Do I just do it? You guys see the video of the hiker? They were way up, real high altitude, and there's a video. She woke up and her for lack of a better term, her piss bottle that they were using froze in the tent. When stuff freezes, it expands and it blew up.
Oh man,
it blew up, and she had a pea slushy inside her tent because it was so cold they were up. So I was all over TikTok. It was nasty.
Oh, it's gross.
I never been camping that cold. Nothing like that.
The last time I went camping was maybe 4 years ago with my wife. I took her. It was the first time we ever went together, and we brought the family. It was like the middle of summer, I think. It was like. I think it was almost like the weekend after 4th of July, and we're packing up the car, and she wants to bring like blankets and big down blankets. I'm like, why are you bringing? It's July. So we get there, and we go to sleep that night, and it's freezing.
Yeah. I was just gonna say that. Yeah, wait till morning, baby.
Yep.
It's freezing.
Dude, now
Like like 2 o'clock in the morning. I wake up. I'm like, it's so cold.
Yeah.
And I turned over. I'm like, I'm so happy you brought this blanket. She's like, see.
Yeah, it's. I mean, just we could get into it, but just a husband and wife camping together can be a challenge on its own. Like if you can stick together through that.
Yeah. No, I don't like to be touched when I sleep. So.
Okay.
I feel like we're really getting personal.
Yep. Yeah. I see what you mean. Yeah, I see what you mean. The worst is like, especially when it does that in the summer too, because it's really humid in the summer.
Yeah.
So you get that moisture on the side of the tent, and if you wake up and just bump into the side of your tent, it's like I don't know. It's like it's like rubbing up against a platypus or something. Like it's the most disgusting feeling in the world. I hate then you got to step out of your tent into the wet grass and all that. It sounds like we're bad mouthing. It's fun, but
it is fun.
Then you get coffee and then you start drinking, and by 9 a.m. you forget all about the night before.
You start drinking.
Pretty much. You have to have at least one coffee. I mean, that's really.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's immediate.
Yeah.
Immediate.
And,
For me,
there's always
one pot, but yeah.
there's always somebody in a group that makes it early. Like you'll wake up and just be like I'm not the guy. I'm not the coffee guy. I don't get up late, but I'm not the coffee guy. Get up. There's like you always got that one friend that's like, "Hey, you want some coffee?" You're like, yes, I do. I want all of the coffee."
I don't know. Why
that
do you
would
keep
be me, Jeff. Not you, Brendan.
Not me. I'm the guy that's getting up after Jeff.
Oh.
Oh yeah.
See, I think
I'm the guy that gets
that I couldn't sleep, because it was the ground was too hard, and we went to a KOA camp, so we actually had electricity at our campsite.
Oh, nice.
So I plugged in the blow up mattress, and that was okay, but it was still too hard for me to sleep, and I got up really early in the morning, and it was just,
that's camping.
Yeah.
You're miserable. Then
Yeah.
you drink it off. You pass out in the middle of the day in the lawn chair. Take a little snap. You get back up.
Yep.
You have some hot dogs, and you start drinking again.
That's
You
it.
drink yourself to sleep. I mean, literally, you're describing camping.
It's a vicious cycle.
Yeah, the
I
kids
love
go to KOA. The kids go off to a pool or some archery training or whatever,
Yeah.
and you get shit faced.
Rock climbing. Yeah.
Have I been camping wrong? But see, around here, we have hiking and stuff, but like we don't have what you guys have, like as far as the natural resources. Like it's pretty much just kind of maybe some rolling hills. We have some good hiking trails. We have lakes. We typically go kayaking when we go camping,
Yeah.
but you're not going rock climbing and things like that. It's
Well, they got
it's
the fake
pretty
wall.
much. But okay, I got you. The KOA, yeah, we've never been to a KOA.
Oh,
We
you
always
should.
go
It's
state
fun.
parks. Got a lot of state parks here in Ohio, some really nice ones. So we stick to them. But we always have electricity. So
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. When we camp in the fall, like we still watch football. Like it's there's nothing better than a college game
Ain't
day
nothing keeping me
weekend.
away from football.
Yeah, yeah. Oh no, yeah. One of our buddies we used to go with, he brought the satellite, and we watched college football all day
Nice.
and drank and camped.
Yeah, and camped. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's why I said I do it a little different.
It's supposed to be a vacation, right? Like you're supposed to enjoy it. You're supposed to, like
Yes,
So,
whatever
yeah.
you have.
Absolutely.
Yep.
do whatever
And
you
we
want.
do.
Yeah.
Yep. We go kayaking. Usually, always do that. I take a hike. I like to take a hike in the woods and all that. And then sometimes you just sit around, play some whatever games you got, cornhole or who knows, whatever it is that day. So, oh yeah, we take 2 days of it, and it really does feel like a break.
Wow. I've been camping all wrong.
Yeah, you've been trying too hard. Well, you probably first of all, you're probably taking kids.
Yeah.
I mean that'll slow you up.
Start this fire with 2 sticks. Let's do this.
Yeah, yeah.
6 hours later, I'm hungry.
Oh, the hungry thing. Oh my goodness.
When we went camping at the KOA camp, it was like we went poor because they don't allow you to bring. First of all, they don't allow you to bring in your own firewood. Okay, and you can't collect wood from the campsite. You can't go walk around the woods and pick up sticks and wood and all that,
Nope.
make it for a fire. So you have to buy the wood from their store, and it's just they suck all your money, and
Oh yeah, that sounds expensive.
yeah, and plus
You have to buy a lot of wood. Like we go through a lot of wood.
yeah,
Bring wood, buy one bundle.
right, yeah.
Allegedly, that's just a theory. Brendan wouldn't do that. But
Jeff, I love your glass.
That might. Oh, thank you. It's pretty good. I got this new thing. You want to hear about it?
Sure.
So I was trying to find a mixer, and I was like, "Oh, ginger ale sounds good." Guess what they have now? Ginger ale and lemonade already mixed in the bottle. That's how it comes.
What?
Yeah, it's delicious. Yeah.
Wow.
So you're welcome, Basement Surge world. Ginger ale lemonade mix is great.
Oh man! All right. So, what are some of your guys' favorite memories of going camping? I mean, I know we've kind of, you've kind of said a couple of things but what's your favorite memories?
Well, I could go. I go. We didn't go camping a lot when I was a kid, just because we didn't. My mom's a fan of your show, so I don't want to say anything that makes it sound like we just not something we did a lot.
Yeah.
So I didn't start going a lot till like I got a little older, and me and my friends would go in high school. So, like for instance, one year I think it was the end of my junior year. My best friend was a senior, so he's riding it out. Around here, we got some public land. All you had to do was sign a ticket. That was your campsite. It didn't cost you anything, and we took it for a week. So we just camped all week. We woke up, went to school, went back to the campsite, had a fire, drank some beverages of whatever. I don't remember what the beverages were at that age.
Lemonade.
It was probably lemonade. I think that's what it was. Yeah. And then get up and go to school the next day. And then like the next day, a few more friends came down. They're like, "Oh, that sounds pretty cool." So then by like Friday, we had a complete rager.
Blowout.
Took over half the campground. There's drunken kids everywhere. And this isn't like a plug. This isn't an electric campground. This is as rustic as you get. It's just, there you go. So no resources. Of course, obviously not enough food, not enough water, of course. Just a complete mess. It was a blast. We had an absolute blast. Ran out of wood like Wednesday.
Shit ton of beer,
man, we had the beer. Yeah, we didn't run out of beer actually. You wake up on picnic table. Yeah. I mean, there's just
no one was actually asking for water. So
no. There's tents, like every tent, because people showed up that had no plans on showing up. They're sleeping in cars. There's 7-8 people in a tent. It was complete debacle. It was so much fun.
That does sound like a lot of fun.
That's one of my favorites. Like we just had 7 days, man. That was a blast.
Brendan, what about you, man?
Yeah, I would say we go camping with my wife's family every year. We don't do too much of it solo.
So you bring the kids too?
Oh yeah. Yeah. We bring the kids. But it's good. It's good. They get to play with their cousins, and I, for the most part, relax and just hang out. And I love spending time with my family, so it's good. It's a weekend away. It's relaxing.
Yeah.
I don't really. I like from my childhood. Yeah, it was okay. Like the camping trips were okay, but I would say I much enjoy them more now, and especially we use air mattresses now. So which is
that's a huge help.
It's so glorious. I feel like it's a stepping stone to like a pop up, and then maybe a pop up to an RV.
It's a gateway. It's a gateway.
It is. I almost bought a pop up actually, like a year or two ago. I was like, we'll just buy a little one. I think that was before we had kid number 3, But I was like, oh yeah, okay.
Well, that, and here's what we ran into is, you're gonna get a camper. You gotta have it's the bonus of having a camper is having a bathroom. So my wife's not about getting a pop up because that defeats the purpose. Just like, well, I just get a pop up or I just have a tent if I was gonna sleep in a pop up. So we went with the trailer camper. But you're right. It's a blast. We have about 4 kind of big group camping functions a year, and they're a blast. Each one of them is kind of its own group. And it's a different mix of people every time. So you see people you haven't seen in a while, and you kind of get relaxed. You let your guard down. You argue about some things, but you talk about some things. And usually by about midnight around the fire, everybody kind of comes to a common ground about just everything that goes on. It's just an absolute blast. You spend all day, whatever, if you're playing games or just anything. It really just stretches out the time. I think is the biggest part of it. It's a blast. Like, I mean, I don't know. It's just some of my best friends I've got, and that's what we do is hang out at the campground, and we all say the same thing. We look around at the trucks and the campers and everything that it takes, and we're like, man, it costs a lot of money to sit around a fire and get drunk, doesn't it? But it's different. I can't explain it. It's a blast. We eat great. My wife's a great campfire cook, so I'm spoiled in that way.
Okay, see that was another one of my questions. Like, what do you guys like to cook on your campfire? What do you guys enjoy? Because last time I went, we didn't bring our barbecue with us, so we literally had to rely on campfire cooking. And so what had happened was that I had a grill, like a barbecue, just a grill in the car. And what I did was I took 2 logs, I stood them up on by the fire, and I put the grill on top of the logs.
Perfect.
And I made some food, But what do you guys like to eat during camping?
Man, ours is. I'm telling you, I'm so spoiled. Like, it's crazy. Like, I asked my wife, I'm like, what do I tell them when they ask my favorite thing? So we start going through everything we eat. I mean, we eat some gourmet shit, but most of it's over the fire. But my favorite thing, like probably my favorite thing to do is, like, we have a big group and we have a steak cook. So we just get the coals red hot, and then let the flame go out. They're just red, and we cook these big fat ass steaks like right over top of the hot coals, and then slice it up, in a nice medium, and do that. But that's cool. My wife makes a lot of great breakfast. She makes a lot of. It's a different recipe every week, and they're also good. But we discovered this thing last year. It's simple. So essentially, we make tacos over the campfire. The meat and everything. Roll up the tortilla, but then we roll them up. Kind of like a taquito style, wrap them in foil, and then just let them kind of bake over the fire, like, and it just kind of, I don't know, it takes a while. You drink a beer or whatever, but when you take them out, they're toasted perfectly, and they just have enough of the campfire flavor in them, and it has become like my favorite thing. I swear, if we had a food truck I called them campfire tacos, we could do it every day. I really love Mexican food camping. I don't know why. I like to drink palomas and eat Mexican food when I go camping in the summer. But yeah, campfire tacos have become one of my favorites. My wife, hers is still hot dogs and mustard. Just loves a campfire hot dog. Nothing beats it. So, but
Jeff?
like I say, I'm spoiled. If I could, there's a whole list of things I could put out there that it's almost. She's made pasta dishes over the fire. She makes pizzas in a cast iron skillet over the fire. Wow. Like, it's incredible. Oh yeah, it's great. It's really great. I'm spoiled. And I just drink I just drink the whole time. I make sure the fire's right. My job is to make sure the fire's right.
Uh-huh.
If someone came up to me and explained me, like, this is what camping is, what Jeff's talking about, I would be like, yeah, I'm fucking going camping. This is great.
That's what we do.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly. It's, she'll tell me, she's like, the fire's got to be ready at this many minutes before I cook or whatever. And I'm like, all right, all you got to do is tell me.
Yeah, you do have responsibilities.
Oh yeah, big time. I got to get the coals right. I get everything set up, and then so it's she does the harder part, but I do have some responsibility. And there's been times that I may have
jerked.
That's a good way to put it. That's a good way to put it. Hey, a couple too many bourbons during a 90-degree day will do that to you. But typically, exactly. Typically, I get through. So, it's
when's the next time you're going camping?
Our first one is booked probably April. We'll start in April.
Oh wow,
nice.
What about you, Brendan? You a hot dog and hamburger kind of guy? No.
I go steak, and then we have hamburgers and hot dogs, but it's not really my favorite thing. Yeah. And we do steak. We usually do chicken. But my favorite thing, and I don't know why, I don't eat it now, but in Scouts, what we used to do, we called them doughboys, right? We would take, the Pillsbury, I don't know if they were the biscuits or the whatever the dough,
okay.
Pillsbury dough, right? And you find a stick about the size of your thumb, and then you would form the dough over the stick.
Okay.
My thumb, form the dough over it, and then you'd put the stick near the fire and let it cook, and then you would pull it off and you would fill it with chocolate pudding.
Ooh, shit!
seal that bad
snap.
boy. Oh yeah, seal that bad boy up, pop, and it was like magic. It was a chocolate explosion in your mouth with hot, warm dough. Oh,
That sounds really good.
That sounds really good. I think you would like it better now that you drink more than you did when you were a Boy Scout.
oh yeah, I'm trying. I liked it then. Like, can you imagine now?
I know. I can't imagine what
When's
that,
the
that
last
would
time
be
you
like.
had it, Brendan?
Imagine like at like 10:30 at night, and you're struggling to make these doughboys, and you're just like, yeah, but you finally get one made.
Well, the key is you always have to take enough kids that can cook for you late when you're drunk. Like that's the secret. Like you just tell the kids, like we can eat whatever you want. But you just have to make me one. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whether I don't care what it is, man.
I'll just tell that to my 5-year-old.
Yeah, you're doing it wrong. But yeah, I would say that was probably
It sounds delicious.
It was my favorite back then. I can't tell you the last time I've had pudding. Like I have no idea.
That's a good point.
He's like, I
It's
love
probably-
pudding.
That's something that kind of goes away as you get older. It's kind of weird.
I still eat pudding. Pudding's good, man.
Yeah, I don't eat it much. I'm not against it.
Yeah, I'm not against. Yeah, I just don't. Yeah, I
Yeah,
just don't eat it.
I'm for pudding. Might get some.
Yeah.
I might do that this summer. I might do that this summer.
Start doing some pudding packs.
Yeah, Hey.
Oh.
I don't know why that.
Mm.
I don't know. There's got to be another way to say it.
Mm.
There's got to be another way to say it.
What? They're packed. They're little packages.
I'm gonna call it a pudding. I'm gonna call it a pudding fritter. I think I'm gonna call it a pudding fritter.
A pudding fritter.
I can't call it a pudding stick.
No.
You just can't call it
We called them doughboys.
doughboys. Okay, we'll go with doughboys.
There's so many
I'm gonna
clips for
do this.
Instagram in this episode. No, we only used to make the traditional stuff: hot dogs, hamburgers, steaks. My dad used to always make these steaks on the grill, and I always look forward to them. But I think food just tastes differently, when it's on the campfire. I think,
Oh,
I mean,
absolutely.
We always do a spaghetti dish too. I don't know about you guys, but that's like, I don't know. That's one person always does spaghetti. I don't know.
No, I don't think so.
Really?
I think we might have done. I think my wife has done one like
like a cold pasta.
No,
I think
like a straight up.
yeah, I can.
Like,
We don't even want to get into side dishes. I could go side dishes all day long. Like
You
we've got-
gotta have good gravy.
The
John,
gravy,
yeah.
man. Yeah, it's called gravy.
I think
It's
she
not
made.
sauce.
I think she made lasagna one time that was pretty good.
Ooh, God,
Over it.
lasagna.
Yeah, it was good. It was really good. It's just a little harder to clean up the skillets and stuff
yeah.
afterwards.
Yeah. I don't
So we
like the
kinda-
mozzarella cheese on top. So if she ever makes
That's
the
your-
lasagna, don't put it on top for me.
Throw some more Parmesan on there.
Well, I can't get an Italian started on Italian food. I'll lose. I have no. I'm out. I'm out.
Sorry.
He's more Brazilian than he is Italian.
Yeah, I'm
that's a
sorry.
good
I
point.
am. Yeah.
Or Brazilian.
I was
Brazilian.
guessing on that one. I was just guessing.
I am.
Brazilian food sounds really good, actually.
Yeah.
No,
We had a lot of rice and beans in my house growing up. So
I love rice and beans.
hell yeah.
Oh hell yeah!
So Jeff, when your son was younger, did you take him camping?
Yeah, we did. Mostly what we did, it wasn't like a weekend thing,
Mhm.
mainly because he was so busy with like sports and stuff in the summer. And we didn't have a camper back then or the money to have a camper back then, probably because we had a kid. I think it was chicken or egg situation. But we did a lot of like vacation camping trips, and we would go whitewater rafting, but we would, camp while we were there and stuff. So,
Nice.
yeah, we did I tried a couple times a summer then. But he kind of grew up around it, like went with his friends and stuff. So, and he goes with us now. Him and his wife
Oh, good.
go camping with us now. They go tent camping, which is funny because a couple years ago we're like, nah, just we've got the spot. You guys just pitch a tent up outside the camper. So we go. They get there. They put it up brand new. He bought a fan for it, just a whole 9 yards, air mattress, everything. Like it's a pretty sweet setup.
Yeah.
We take our canoe trip down the river. Right when we get back to the landing, one of the I mean, honestly, it was that summer about 3 years ago. One of the worst storms of the summer comes through, literally blows every tent in the campground upside down, completely
no.
fills them with water. He never even slept in his tent that weekend, but luckily we had friends that had an extra bed. So the rain will get you. I had a great trip down the river. Everything worked out, but it was a complete waste of time. Everything they did, all their blankets. I mean, everything was soaked. But that happens, man. Thunderstorms will get you camping.
Yeah,
like, they will get you. Oof.
Yeah. Especially if you're tenting, man. That's
yes.
I remember I must have been like maybe 10 years old. Me and my dad went camping, just me and him. And in the middle of the night, like it started pouring. And I think back then they had this like spray you'd spray on the tent to seal
what was it called? Camp Dry.
Yeah.
Camp Dry. That's what ours was called.
My father was standing out there in the pouring rain, spraying this thing on the tent.
I don't know if it works at that point.
Right.
I think you might be past it.
If it's already wet, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. I'm like 10 years old. I'm like sleeping on this little blow up mattress, and I'm like, I'm getting wet. Like, oh no. I want to go home.
we got caught in one time. It rained. Honestly, it's the hardest rain I've ever seen around here, and we happened to be tent camping that day. It was complete. It was. I still to this day I've never seen rain like this. We're out. Everybody's got their tents up, so of course everybody's tents flood. We're next to a river, so it's kind of low anyway. Everybody's tents flood. Ours is up just enough a crest where it's not flooding yet. The water's literally running around it. My wife has to take like all of our towels and stuff that we brought and put around the edges just to soak up some water so we could, sleep in the middle 3 foot of the tent all night. Most people had to sleep in the back of their cars. It was insane. And
Wow.
It rained it was almost, I think it was like 12 hours of downpour. It was unbelievable.
Wow.
We get up the next morning, the river's like up to the bank. We're lucky we didn't get washed away. That was actually the last summer that we tent camped. That was when
That's
me and
it.
my
I've
wife.
had enough. We're buying a camper.
Yep. My wife's like, I think we're going to look for a camper. No, that's exactly what happened. Oh, I think we actually bought the camper right after that. I think it was within like 3 weeks we found one. It was crazy. Man, that was awful. I had a good time that weekend, but man, that was miserable.
I could tell you so many rain stories. I think every time I went camping,
Every
it rained.
time?
Oh man, as a
It's
kid,
miserable.
just like every time. Like
Wow.
we used to have a joke like, "Oh, if we're going camping, it's gonna rain." Like
It's
that,
gonna
like,
rain.
that was just it. Like, and it did. Like every time. I think probably once or twice. Like it didn't rain. Yeah, it's oh man.
There's nothing.
I'm
There's
saving
just
it because I know that John has a question, worst experience, so I'm saving it, and that was worst. So saving it. So, but yeah, rain. I've been hit with it. So, oh my god.
yeah, we've had some good trips over the years.
Has there ever been like an emergency for you guys? Like somebody ever get hurt or something like that?
I have actually been really lucky. I mean, I'm being honest, outside of like people getting too drunk and kind of sick on a kayak trip or something. Honestly, to me, a couple minor band-aids here or there, we've been really fortunate. So the answer is actually no. I'm glad it's no, but nothing major. I did cause my buddy probably my worst moment. This is the worst thing I did camping. I'll tell you this story. It was an accident, but I still feel guilty to this day. So we had a group of friends that went. There's like 4 campers there, and everybody's sitting around a fire. And I'm wound up. Well, you know what, Brendan, you're gonna love this story because of what inspired it. So
no.
I'm wound up that day. We had a good kayak trip, and I'm running around. Do you remember when Michael Scott was running around? He doing parkour. Do you happen to remember this?
Oh yeah, do I remember that? Yeah.
So I'm running around the campground going parkour, and I'm jumping off trees and jumping off chairs. So I run over and I like jump over into the circle of people and like land in my chair, and I'm like parkour. Well, my buddy, this is so sad. This is horrible. My buddy's holding his cat, his old cat, and I spooked the cat. The cat jumps off his lap. This is terrible.
Jumps into the fire.
Runs into the woods to never be seen again.
Oh my god.
It was gone. Yeah.
All right. Well, first of all, why is he bringing a cat on a camping trip?
Hey, these are questions. There are like.
Can they be answered? Can they be answered?
I can
everybody's
understand
like
bringing your dog, but not a cat.
Yeah, they had to because this cat. I mean, they weren't like we talked about. Like the cat was at the point in life to where it was kind of becoming expensive to them. Not that they wanted to lose it, but that's why it was with them. I think because of like medication or something.
Yeah.
So
Well,
he'll say Jeff solved the problem
right.
accidentally.
You did him a favor.
And I'm
Scared
like,
him to death.
yeah. We went out and looked, but these woods are thick. I mean, we're talking Southern Ohio. There's some like in the hills. It was
horrible, man.
It was terrible. Oh yeah, it was awful. Yeah, I still feel bad to this day. I still feel bad about it. But everybody was they were like, "It is not your fault. I promise."
Do you
like,
still talk to him?
Whatever. Oh yeah, we went camping after that.
Oh yeah. Do you ever bring it up to this day? Be like, "Hey, remember that time?"
No, we've never talked about it. Never talked about it. This is the first time I've talked about it since that day.
You know,
So,
this has nothing to do with camping, but I was I was underneath someone's kitchen sink, fixing their plumbing, and I hear, "Hey, Kevin, bring the cat for a walk." And I'm like, I didn't just hear that. I didn't just hear that. And he yells at his son. He yells at his son again, and he says, "Bring him for a walk." And I was like, I gotta see this, right? So I gotta get apart from the truck. So I walk outside. No shit. This kid, I call him a kid. He was probably 18. Had a cat on a leash, and he was walking.
Isn't that the weirdest thing you've ever seen?
I'm blown away. I always had outside cats when I was growing up. You know, like you're just like, okay, you gotta go, get outside. You know, like
you'll be back in a couple days.
No, I had indoor cats growing up.
Yeah.
But that sounds like my father. It's something my father would have done, is to walk his cat.
Put him on a leash.
Yeah, put him on a leash, take him outside.
Oh, I've known it. Every time I see it, it's weird. It's like having it's when people like we've got a guy that
it's foreign.
Yeah, we've got a guy that lives here in town that walks around with his turkeys. He's got 2 domesticated turkeys, and he walks around town. And every time I see it, I'm like, that's not right. Something's not right here.
But see, I think I might get used to that. Like, I don't know if I'd ever get used to seeing someone with a leash. Every time I see someone with a leash, a cat, I'm like, what the
Every time I see a cat on a leash, I think that the cat's being held against its will. Like, there's no way that cat wants like a dog wants to be on a leash. Like you, as soon as we get the leash out of the bag for our dog, like she's doing cartwheels. Like she cannot wait to get hooked up to a leash and just drag you around with it. Oh, we go camping, we take the dog. Like she just wants to walk around and lick kids in the campground and smell stuff and piss 400 times. Like she can't wait. But a cat's like, I've never met a cat that looked like it wanted to be on a leash ever.
No. Like you take it off the leash, it'll bolt. It'll just like
because
yeah
into the forest.
And they'll be like, I'll be back. Well, not all cats come back.
Maybe
I'm just saying, allegedly. I like to think that cat found another campsite and then some lucky
campsite over the Rainbow Bridge.
Yes, exactly. God damn it! Shout out to Kitten, man. That's on me, Kitten. That's on me.
Wait, the cat's name was Kitten?
Yeah. I shouldn't be saying this out loud because, like, it's I shouldn't be laughing about it.
Basement Surge. It's okay.
It was therapeutic, though. I feel better now that you guys know my deepest, darkest secrets, that I once sort of murdered a cat.
Help me help you, Jeff.
That I once talked to the cat.
You parkoured a cat to death.
I did. That is the absolute truth. Oh, that's one of my more embarrassing moments.
Oh God, how do I move on from that?
I did. I moved on instantly. I used
parkour.
I used like a 6-pack of beer. A 6-pack of beer helped at the time.
Yeah.
For being honest,
that would help.
I mean, I've never found it detrimental to anything I've ever done. Never adding beer to the situation has ever backfired.
Everything better. Someone else's eyes. Maybe it's a different story, but that's all. Perception.
I get better looking, smarter, man, funnier.
Yep.
Jeez, man, people just love it.
I get better at video games when I drink.
Oh my God, I used to get drunk and play like right when it was getting big to play like Call of Duty online and stuff, and Madden online and all that. And then I used to be off in the winters because I was a Mason, so I was off all winter. So then I'd get drunk and get on there and play 17-year-olds in video games, and they'd make fun of me and shit. It was horrible.
Now
it was,
you're playing
so,
8-year-olds.
Oh yeah, it's a different ball game. It's a different world. It's a savage. They're savages, absolute savages out there.
You know what I don't understand? I don't understand those people who push their pets around in carriages.
Or carry them like under their arm.
Well,
like
I mean, I can understand that a little bit, but not the carriages.
No. Nope.
So,
yeah, I don't know about like pet in a carriage.
Yeah, I've seen that a bunch of times here in New York.
To be fair, though, I didn't push my kid in a carriage. I was like, you have legs. Like, let's do this.
That's what I did.
Yeah.
He's only 2 months old, Jeff. He can walk.
Yeah, he can walk.
Yeah, I just drug. Well, he had a leash then. I just drug him around.
I hope there weren't any woods around you.
I did not. Oh, there was times where if he could have ran off into the woods, if he thought there would have been a McDonald's in the woods, he would have ran off several times. That's the true story.
Oh man! All right, Brendan. So, what's your worst experience camping?
Okay, here we go.
Let's do it.
All right, so in Scouts again, right? We were instructed to build a shelter, and then we were going to sleep in the shelter. So
it's hard not to make a Scout joke. I'm sorry.
Dude.
I'm sorry.
I get it. So me and I don't even remember who it was, but it might have been Jim actually. We built a shelter, and it was against this big old tree, and we just basically leaned a bunch of trees up against it, you know what I mean, and then covered it with pine boughs, and then we jumped in there at one point during the evening, I feel like something tapping on my forehead. Well, it's pouring out.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say a bug or something.
One drop, just like in the center of my forehead, just like tap tap, and I'm like, all right, well, it's raining pretty bad, but honestly, we were relatively dry.
Okay.
So I was like, all right, well, this is a win for us. And then it started raining harder.
Oh, man.
And then one of the leaders comes over and is like, all right, you guys got to come back to the campsite, get in your tents. So now we have to keep this in mind. We have to I'm semi-dry. I have to grab my sleeping bag. That's not the best part. Walk across a raging river now because before it was just kind of trickling, but now that it's been raining for a couple hours, it is now like blowing water out.
Oh,
I was lucky I made it across, but my sleeping bag is now soaked. You know what I mean? Like there's no way around that.
Yeah.
And then the kid behind me, it wasn't Jim, but it was another kid. He actually fell in the river.
Oh Jesus!
So
wow.
His sleeping bag is in the, because we were walking across a wet log, and so we're holding our sleeping bags like over our legs, and we're like pulling a rope, like holding onto a rope and trying to like. It was not easy. It was not easy. I want to say that is probably the worst camping trip I've ever had. It was awful, and then the rest of the night just sucked because you're wet and cold, and
it's the worst.
Yeah, you can't. There's no. I didn't bring an extra sleeping bag, so what am I doing? Get some dry clothes on and try
it's
to.
It's not like you could start a fire to, dry your stuff off and warm up.
No,
because it's nice if you have that, but you're in the tent and it's raining out, but you don't have any leaks, and you're kind of like you feel like you're in this cocoon, like, oh man, it's all that's between me and Mother Nature is this tent, and you can talk to your buddies and make jokes and fart on each other or whatever. But man, when everything's wet, then you just want to fight. That's awesome that you and Jim. I didn't realize you and Jim went back like that. Like I knew.
We've known each other since the 4th grade.
That's freaking great, man.
Wow.
And we were in Scouts together. Well,
that's longer than me and Frank.
And then, oh really? Yeah,
that's longer than me and anybody.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll never forget the time I met him. So we're in 4th grade. I look over and I'm looking at a desk because his knees were hitting the bottom of the desk. He's so tall, right? Like his knees were hitting the bottom of the desk and lifting it up like that. I'm like,
I actually didn't know Jim was tall.
oh yeah, he's 6'3", 6'4". Yes, I mean you can't tell over.
Yeah, I've only seen him, sitting down on the shows and stuff. I didn't know that. Wow, I've learned so much about Jim today.
Yeah,
Shout out to Jim.
yeah. Hey Jim,
Hi, Jim.
Boy Scout Commando.
Yeah.
What?
So what's that? I saw Jim on New Year's Eve. Yeah. Yeah. So that was the worst time I ever had. But I mean, I feel like it rained all the time, but we never got
all rain. It's all rain stories. Like
yeah, it is. And honestly, I never got really wet.
I just remembered a great camping story. You guys are gonna love this.
So, and then you asked Jeff about emergencies, and but I didn't get to answer. I just say like I ripped open my finger. I probably should have had stitches trying to open a beer with my knife.
Oh, man.
Classic. That's
Yep.
a classic.
Yep.
And here's what's funny. I would guarantee you that there was a bottle opener within the vicinity.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure there.
That's what's funny about it.
You know what's sad, right? Like I could have probably done it with my knife closed, but who opens their knife and tries to open a beer?
Nobody.
This guy, yeah.
So what'd you do? Like pack some mud into it, wrap it with a leaf?
Jeff, what is a construction worker's Band-Aid?
Duct tape.
Usually electrical tape. One or the other.
Either or. John, you're not far off. Either or, but yeah, usually electrical tape. So yep, that's about what
a napkin and duct tape typically.
Pretty much. Yep.
Oh my god.
I probably should have had like 3 or 4 stitches, but
oh man, you still
crazy
have a scar?
I don't know. Can you see it? It's on my knuckle.
No. How'd you get it on your knuckle?
Because I was going like this.
I knew that's what you were gonna say.
Folded that blade right over. I'm like, I didn't just do that, did I?
Yeah,
I did.
Yeah, classic.
It wasn't even my beer. I was opening someone else's beer.
Yeah, always have a first aid kit camping. That is very important.
You got to get that belt buckle with the bottle opener on it.
I have one.
Well, first of all, I don't take bottles camping unless it's a special beer or something. Just because they don't have glass camping.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but sometimes we'll take Coronas because it's just like sometimes a Corona is just really good in a bottle.
I used to drink a lot of Blue Moon, but that was a twist off.
Really? Yeah. Peg Joe's a Blue Moon guy.
Really good.
Yeah,
I used to drink that too.
No fruit. But just a beer.
Yeah. I could never do it with the fruit. I don't mind it every now and then. Mm-hmm. Their low calorie stuff's not bad for a low calorie beer.
Now.
Yeah.
They didn't before. So.
Yeah. Blue Sky or something like that, I think it's called. Yeah. Well, they have Blue Moon cans, but then they have it's called like Blue Sky or something. It's a lower calorie version. Not bad for a light beer.
Yeah.
It is?
I'm watching my weight.
Yeah. So one time I almost got murdered camping. You want to hear about that?
Yes.
I forgot about this story. This is great. So it's I just graduated. I was about 20 years old. Me and my buddies, it's the same place. It's rustic camping. We take a tent, we set up, we're sitting around the fire, drinking beers, and some dudes are like strolling by. Well, we don't care. We're like, hey, what's up, guys? And they're probably, looking back, they were only probably 30. I don't know.
But you thought they were old.
Yeah, exactly. Old dudes, couple old dudes. I should tell the story. Couple old dudes, go by or whatever. So we're like, hey, what's up? And then when you're camping though, people will just, everybody's nice, hey, what's up? And those, so cool. So they come sit down, they're telling all these stories. And this one guy's telling these stories about how he's going to be, I think he was saying he either is a veterinarian or was almost a veterinarian or whatever. And he's telling, he's going on and on about animals and blah, 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 blah. Right. These guys we're drunk, and what we're trying to do, the same thing they're trying to do. We're trying to get free beer out of them. They're probably trying to get who knows what out of us. So my 2 friends and his buddy, I forget what reason, I think they were going to walk back to their campsite and get some beers and bring them back. Mm-hmm. So we're freaking sweet. These guys are going to, these old guys are going to give us beer all night, Back then we didn't know. So they leave. So me and this dude are at the campsite. It's just me and him sitting around the fire, and it's pitch black. This isn't an electric campground, so there's no ambient light. And then we're talking, and I don't remember the conversation, but I remember being well, this is weird. Just the whole time, really spidey senses just tingling all over. So
something about this don't feel right.
Yeah, exactly. Something just don't feel right. So fast forward, I survive. Me and Dexter. So my buddies get back and we're all sitting there, and then they're kind of being like kind of normal and standoffish or whatever. And finally the guys like take off, like, hey, we'll see you guys. I'm like, yeah. And they both look at me and they're like, holy shit, dude, we figure we get back and you be murdered. And I'm like, what? So they get like 100 yards down the road. Now, mind you, this guy that stayed with me, Dexter, has told us for like an hour about being a veterinarian or whatever. That they get like 100 yards down the road and his buddy's like, he's not a veterinarian. And my buddies are like, what? And they're like, nah, they're like,
just
nah,
mutilating animals. It's the same thing.
That's exactly what
Really?
Right? I'm not kidding. That's exactly what he said. He goes, he killed a rabbit once and cut it open or something like that. Thinks he's a veterinarian. I swear that's what they said. So now on their version of the story, they're hurrying this guy to like get back because they think this other cat's going to murder me. So
then he'll be a doctor.
Yeah. So I forgot about the time I almost got skinned alive camping. So that might be that was my closest call. And then we took one of the Broncos out 4-wheel driving. Water got on the distributor. It stalled, so we had to walk back to the campground. So that was a crazy night. It was fun.
That's not as bad as getting murdered.
So actually, not getting murdered might be the best camping story.
Yes.
Actually, that's not fair. My wife goes camping with me every time, and let's face it, I almost get murdered every weekend we go camping. So I'm on a streak of not getting murdered like 50 in a row. So I'm trying to keep that going. You'll know if it ends. We got
to keep like a tally behind you.
Yeah,
I should. Jeff,
like a counter,
just
like a counter.
100 off of the wall.
Oh my gosh! I almost got murdered New Year's Eve. I tend to I'm not trying to be harmful. I just tend to overstep my bounds a little bit.
You know what your problem is?
Yeah. Jeff's a little too trusting,
Apparently that was crazy. I don't know. That could have went sideways.
Yeah, that could have been bad. I don't have any crazy wacky camping stories like you guys do. I was never in Boy Scouts. I was never almost murdered. But
well, you've been almost murdered. You just don't know it.
Maybe. Yeah.
You're in New York, man. You're on a subway. You're almost murdered.
Yeah, it could have been last night for all I know. But I did get lost as a kid in the forest in the Adirondacks.
That's scary.
When I was
scary shit.
When I was like 11. So me and my dad, and we went camping with some of his friends, and they had kids, so they came along, and we brought my bike, so me and the two other boys were riding bikes on the road and whatever, and we decided to go a little further, and I got lost because the kid wound up leaving me behind, and because I was looking around enjoying the scenery like a stupid ass, like not paying attention. And
I think that kid tried to murder you. Like passive aggressively tried to murder you, but like, why would he do that?
Maybe.
Do you still know this kid?
I don't know. I don't know this kid. I don't know him at all anymore. And it's been years, but
that's not a cool thing to do.
It was very scary because it's like I'm riding a dirt road and on my bike, and I'm yelling out. I'm like, "Hello," and like nobody's answering me.
All I can see is poor 6-foot-tall 10-year-old John alone in the woods, like
on a bike, like way too small for him, and he's like,
yes. I imagine a banana seat and a flag,
baseball card in the spokes. You know it.
There's like bear. There's like bear up there, dude. Like,
yeah,
you can't be fucking around.
Lines in the Adirondacks.
Yeah. So here I am, like riding my little bike on a.
We got cougars around here, but they're mostly harmless.
They're mostly harmless. You got wild cats.
Yeah, that's what he was talking about.
Yeah, but it was scary, and I kept riding like really slowly though. Like I took my time, moving forward, and I kept yelling out for my dad.
I do got to ask a question here, though.
Yeah.
I'm being serious.
Yeah.
I'm being serious. How many turns did you take that you couldn't just turn around?
You know, I don't remember, but what I do remember is that the road we were on was a winding road, and we kind of, I think, went in a circle. So I just got like kind of turned around.
Are you sure you were lost?
Well,
okay, now wait a second. When you get fight or flight, right? Like if you start getting all like you think you're lost.
Oh no, there's nothing scarier.
Yeah. Like so,
I started panicking because I was
I'm
alone
with
in
you.
the forest.
Yeah, so once you think you're lost, no one's answering you, and you're not used to that feeling. Yeah,
Right.
panic sets in. Boom, it doesn't matter. You could have turned around and just gone the back of the way you came, but
no, because we were running for a while, and I knew that the surrounding area it wasn't familiar. Like,
so how did you get found?
I just kept moving forward, on my bike really slowly, and I kept yelling for my dad, and I eventually heard him yelling.
Holy
so
shit,
I
that's
had to
scary
go
as hell.
towards his voice.
Had you at any point decided that you were going to have to probably
Hunker
eat
down.
raw fish and live? Did you? At what point did you think that's where you were going to live the rest of your
Found me in
years
a
out?
loincloth. I had fashioned my bicycle into a spear.
Okay, I got to ask because I know John. Honestly, I know John pretty well. I know the ins and outs of John pretty well.
Yeah.
Did you find that kid and did you beat the shit out of him? You can be honest with me.
No, but he did get yelled at by his parents and my parents for leaving.
There
me
you
behind.
go. I knew we'd get there. You
Probably
got your.
like a day and a
He
half.
caught shit for leaving me behind. Yeah.
Who was your favorite wrestler at the time? That's all I want to know. What stage of wrestling did
Hulk
you get
Hogan.
lost? I knew it.
I would
You
have
were
given
just
him
a
the
pup
elbow
then.
drop, man. Or the
Wait a
leg
minute,
drop.
which
the
Hulk
leg
Hogan?
drop.
Which
Yeah.
which Hulk? So
Which
yellow,
Hogan?
good guy Hulk Hogan or bad guy Hulk Hogan?
Oh, good guy.
Oh wow, you were
American
young.
hero. Yeah.
Oh man. Hey, I mean, who thought that? Like, if I'm just saying, like, just off track here, real quick, between us three, if Hulk
between us
Hogan,
three,
if the '86 version of Hulk Hogan was around now, would he be the most popular person in America?
No, he'd be.
I think he
at.
would be. I think he would be the most popular person in America.
Really?
Yeah, I think they would. I think they would love that version of Hulk Hogan. Like, he was almost so patriotic. He was making fun of being patriotic. Like, he had the theme song, the guitar players.
love that theme
It was
song.
it was like a Will Ferrell movie,
Yeah.
but it was great.
Like what is like 33-inch pythons or something like that.
Yeah. Anyway, so I was just trying to get a feel there for where John was at in his life. So
Yeah, I had the mullet, and riding around on my BMX, and
but you made it. You survived.
I made it.
You survived.
Yeah.
We're
Do you
glad.
guys do you have like every year on the anniversary of that? Do you throw like a little like party for yourself, like about that day?
No,
Betty poppers and just go.
no. As a matter of
We're
fact,
making
very
fun-
few
we're making
people
fun
know
of
about
him.
this.
A horrible moment. No, that is scary.
Yeah.
I remember like right behind my house where I grew up, it was just woods, and I just mean woods, like it wasn't a forest or anything.
Right.
But when you're like 9 years old and you go out hiking around and you turn and you don't see anything you recognize,
Mhm.
it is scary as shit. You're like, okay,
Fucker factor right there.
because the truth is, if you go the wrong direction, it could be a long time before anybody sees you. You never know what can happen.
Yeah, you could be bear food.
And then a fake veterinarian finds you and it's over. I'm just being honest here. If our camping stories would have aligned, you'd have been in deep shit. Let me just tell you that right now.
Are you a
Because-
bunny rabbit?
Yeah, here, put on these ears.
Put on the ears.
Let's play
Why?
vet. Let's play vet. Like it was. I'll tell you, that was scary. I really got away with one there. Whew. I'd say that.
Did he
that
want to
dude's
show you
doing
his
time.
mask collection?
Yeah. I mean, it
All I
was.
think of is when Dwight was wearing the CPR mask. Like the faces.
No, but that's exactly what I bet it would have been like.
Yeah.
Yeah, really. Yeah.
Oh god.
was rough. Looking back, really dodged a bullet.
So
yeah,
that's how
I'd
much
say
we
so.
love camping, people. That's how much we
Go
So-
camping. Create memories of a lifetime.
So here's what we learned. I think instead of putting your cat on a leash, put your kid on a leash, and
don't talk to veterinarians.
don't talk to veterinarians.
In the middle of the woods.
Yeah.
Oh man. Oh, that's crazy. We went back there. I just told us we took a Jeep trip back there not too long ago because it's only about an hour from here. And I was driving down the road. Like I still remember the road. And I'm like, oh, this is where I almost got murdered. And everybody had the same reaction. They're like, what? Oh, I remember my wife was out of town. Oh, she wasn't my wife then. We were just dating, but she was out of town for something. And so I'm like, oh yeah, we'll take a guys camping weekend and get. The thing is, murder would have been the best thing that would have come out of it because more than likely I'd have been in somebody's dungeon for.
It puts the lotion on the skin.
Yeah, that's the feeling I was getting.
I
Yeah.
think the lesson all three of us have to walk away with this is use the buddy system.
Yes.
Okay.
That's a good call.
Yes. Yeah. Well, wait a minute. You tried to use the buddy system, and your buddy left
He
you.
left me.
But that's not a buddy.
That's not. You're right. That's not a buddy. Yeah. Don't use the person that came along system. Use the buddy system.
Yeah.
Don't use the kid that just your parents happen to know and it was convenient for them.
Stupid
Yeah.
blonde hair little kid. Yeah.
Yeah. I like where we're going with this. We need to find it. We could figure this out. I think we need to do a show.
I know his name.
Special
I should hunt him down.
event. Special event. Basement surge. Reconciliation. Or the reckoning. I whatever you want to, however you want to do it, man.
The reckoning.
Does he want to? You know what? He don't have a championship belt in his basement. That's all.
Will we be able to find the veterinarian so you can?
Is he still there?
Is there a meth head fake veterinarian in the house? Anyway,
Anybody? Just hand up. Anyone?
I think this guy was doing meth, and this is like mid '90s before it was even cool to do meth. Like this,
Mid '90s? Probably crack.
Ah, yeah, classic. Shout out to crack.
That had to crack.
Jesus.
I miss
The
crack.
good old days. The good old days.
Oh,
Jesus.
God, I miss you
Yeah.
guys.
yeah.
I was so happy when you invited me on, and then you're like, "Oh yeah, Jeff's coming. Is that okay?" I'm like, "Are you serious?"
If only we could find something to talk about.
Yeah.
I should have took more notes.
Let's go over what we talked about tonight: camping,
Yeah,
wrestling, murder.
yeah. I didn't have to
Drinking.
break down I didn't have to break down third down conversions or anything. I just got to show up and
That's
be
it.
myself. It's kind of
Oh.
fun.
Jeff, can I ask you a question?
You absolutely can.
What about third down conversion?
How do you feel about the tight end
How
position?
do you feel about pinch hitters? Now,
Running back.
what happened to Jeff Needs Help? I
It's
seen
still
the
it
last
is-
time you dropped an episode, man, was June.
it's been a long time. I know. Because here's the thing, and I tell this to like everybody. Like my mom will text me like, you got any shows coming up? And I'm like, okay, I may not put out a show, but I do like 3 shows a week. You know what I mean? Like it's not so. Yeah, honestly, I just the time for Jeff Needs Help is just I just don't have it to put a proper show together. You know what I mean? So that's it. It's just a time thing. Now that the football season's over, basically Jeff Needs Help is kind of a February through
oh, so it's
August
a seasonal.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just has to be. Like I would love to do because now I've just started. It's not official yet, but we're going to start an entertainment division of the Off the Ball Network to where the guys get together and we do like we may talk about sports movies or we may just talk about any movie or we may talk about whatever, so that's also a part of Jeff Needs Help. So it's just like I literally just don't have enough time in the week to do it.
Mm.
But but it's still alive. It's still kicking. I promise. I think how I'm going to do it this year is stack them up, like try to really like maybe record like 10 episodes in a month. You
That's a
know what I
good
mean?
idea.
And then have content to string it out. Cause this, the sports thing, the other side of it going really well. And I'm asked to be on a lot of shows and I do a lot of guest appearances is that it takes time away from, my shows, which I never would have dreamed that it would have been like this. Like I'm on a weekly show with the the Locked On Buckeyes. So I do a weekly show with Jay now, which is a bit, it's a bigger show than mine. It's a big show for Ohio State country. So that's that's a show that I prep for and do. So it's kind of become like I'm a guest host for a certain period of time. So it's like having another show, and it's great. But you guys know how it is. You just literally run out of time.
Yeah.
And you want to try and stay married while you're doing it. That's the thing.
try.
I mean, I'm just being honest. Like, you guys know it's tough. So Jeff Needs Help is not dead. It's alive and kicking. It will be back probably February. Things are slowing down. Once playoffs get rolling here, we'll have a few games left and I'll be able to focus. I don't know which direction it's going to go. I like that show sometimes more because of the freedom that I have, whether it's content or language or whatever out of the structure. But the way that the Off the Ball Network has taken off and Jeff Needs Sports has taken off is I never dreamed of it. You know what I mean? I never dreamed that I could do a show 7 days a week if I wanted to. There's so much going on. And the guys are so cool. And, when they need me, I want to be there for them. That's kind of the deal with the network. If they need a guest, I want to be a guest. But that's a night that you can't do a show, and then, you have time with the family and all these things add up. And the next thing you know, the week's gone. So it's been tough. I didn't see it going this direction. But it's also been a blast at the same time.
That's cool.
So it's but I appreciate you bringing it up there. Jeff Needs Help is not dead. It needs help. It honestly needs help. It's
Well, when you're ready to bring it back, let me know, and
I would. You guys know, me and Brendan did a show. What did we do your show, Brendan? Early football season, right?
I
early
listened
September.
to that one. That was a great episode.
Yeah, that was fun. So, to me, I consider that a show. Obviously I don't get the credit for it. It doesn't go under Jeff Needs Help, but that's still to me like doing a show. So,
hey, if you want the audio stuff like that, man, just tell me.
Oh, no, it's no big deal. That's what I mean. No, I don't care whether it's somebody else's show or my show, but it is tough for Jeff Needs Help because it does have to take a back seat. But the family that I've built through Jeff Needs Help is like no other. So it's a tough thing it's hard too in social media because you disappear essentially. You just vanish. Like, I'm sure you guys have noticed too, especially the way especially Facebook does it. Like, after a certain amount of time, you just kind of vanish.
Yeah.
So I've got there's some of us that do podcasts and they don't show up on my feed anymore, and I'm like, oh, those guys must not do much, and I'll go back and look. Oh, there's been 5 shows, but I don't get the updates. I don't get that's kind of frustrating.
Algorithms change all the time. So
exactly, it's the algorithm.
I do shows every week.
Oh, I know, and yours don't pop up, and I'm like,
yeah. Well, I say forsaken words, so
yeah, but it doesn't matter. It's still like, why don't they pop up? It's all these things fighting through. So it is tough. I've got some big ideas still for the future, some entertainment stuff I want to do, but then I didn't see the Locked On Buckeyes going as well as it did. So the next thing you know, Jay's like, I want you to be on. And, obviously I live and breathe, Ohio State Buckeyes. So I'm not going to turn that down. He's got a much bigger following, a much bigger audience. So that gets my name out there.
Congratulations. That's great.
It is. And and shout out to Jay for doing that. And I love it.
Jay?
But then but also I can't schedule, so it's been tough. It's been tough. So I think I'm just going to have to, for now on, it's going to be Jeff Needs Help is basically February through August and not try to fight through it anymore like I did. But there will be new episodes coming up, and both you guys will be on it. I assume. I'm hoping.
I hope so. I hope I get an invitation.
And I got to tell you guys real quick what my mom got me for Christmas.
What'd you get?
She is so excited about this, and she got it. I got a shark.
What?
She adopted me. She adopted me a shark. It lives off the coast of Florida. It's on the east coast of Florida right now. It's swimming around. It's a hammerhead. Its name's Finn. I didn't name it. They didn't get real crazy with it. I call it Finnegas because I just think it's more proper. So
formal.
She adopted me a hammerhead shark. As of the last check-in, he was swimming off the coast of right around Vero Beach, Florida. So she thought you guys would really get a kick out of that.
Nice.
That's awesome.
I think I told John.
Yeah. You texted me.
How many people have the shark eaten?
What's that?
How many people has the shark eaten?
I don't know. I'm trying to tell. I tell you what, though,
That's not one of the stats. You can't.
Here's one of the craziest things about it.
Yeah.
As much as I love sharks, they get closer to land than I really thought a giant hammerhead shark would get.
Yeah, they do.
Like in 2 feet of water, they'll
I
come up.
see them
Yes.
here in Coney Island.
Yes. Yeah. So Finn hasn't made it that far, but he's doing good. We're getting along. It's a long distance relationship. It's hard to.
Well, let me know
He's
if he comes up here. I'll show him
I
around.
will. I will let you know immediately. Anybody near the Atlantic, I'm letting know.
That's awesome.
She thought you guys would like that, and it's for a good cause. It's the organization is to basically just try and help keep the oceans clean.
Nice.
Long story short,
That's
so it does go to a good cause, but it's pretty awesome. So I get to check in on Finn every now and then and see what he's up to.
Good. That's really cool, man. I mean, freaking shark.
Yeah.
I mean, I know you love sharks because, Jaws.
Oh, she did it for you guys. Like as soon as she gave it to me, she goes. She just calls the whole group, every podcaster I know, because there's so many. You guys know how it is.
Yeah.
She calls them your guys. Like,
Right.
I thought your guys would think this is funny. Like on Christmas Day, she's like, I thought your guys would think this is funny. I'm like, oh, they will think it's funny.
I love your mother so much.
Oh yeah, she's great.
So great.
Yeah, she's great.
So you can start calling him Dad, Jeff.
Yeah.
Listen, son, it's good to see you this evening.
Yeah. I can't wait to come up to New Hampshire. You take me for like a bike ride. We can go get ice cream. It's gonna be great.
We'll do a bicycle.
Yes, just one bicycle.
Got to take him camping.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The 2-seater bicycle. Oh man,
John, you can go. We will not leave you behind on the bicycle.
Thank
he
you.
can be on the basket.
Thank
He'll
you
be on the
very
basket.
much.
We got you. We
Yeah.
got you.
The 6'4" guy on a basket, like trying to hold up his legs.
They're just dragging him around. That's how we get back. We follow his toenails.
Oh, God.
Water skiing behind us.
Pete.
Heck yeah.
You guys are awesome, man. This is so much fun.
Oh, shit.
The blast.
Remember that time we did this for 7 hours? That was crazy. Remember that night, Brendan? Wasn't it?
I
It was
don't
like-
remember that night at
It
all.
was like 4.5 hours.
We were toasted.
Ridiculous. I was so drunk. I was like stroking pillows.
And we were live.
Oh yeah, we were live the whole time. Finally, Brendan goes. It's like we're like 4 hours in, and Brendan goes, "Oh, I should stop recording." We're like, "What?"
We need to go to bed.
Oh my, each of us had to get up and piss like 3 times. That
Yeah.
was insane.
Yeah.
Those were fun days. Like
It was-
honestly, if any of us ever makes $1 billion off of this,
Mhm.
the stories about the first 6 months
Oh,
would
yeah,
be
they'll be
crazy.
like-
where we were
Oh
just
my
trying
god, the shit that we said.
we
Like
were just trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
Like we were living on the air. We didn't know
We're
what we were
trailblazing
doing.
the way, Jeff.
We were trailblazing. We came along quickly, but man, me getting shit faced on DJ's show and basically not being.
oh,
I
I
couldn't
can
even
beat that.
talk.
I can beat that. I had a cricket going off.
What?
A cricket behind me, literally a cricket behind me in my basement. It was like
Oh my
underneath the
God.
couch. Was so freaking loud. I had to mute my mic for like 90% of the time that I was on
Holy
the show.
shit.
Oh, wow.
Dude, it was so bad, so bad.
Wow.
Speaking of which, do you think when DJ's rich and famous that he'll invite us down for a barbecue or something? Because he's killing it. He's actually killing it.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, dude, you're amazing. And
It's awesome.
He's like, yeah, we're just taking our time. And I'm like, you're being modest. I'm like, you're
It's
doing awesome.
No, he's got
No,
great
what he's doing
guests.
what he is doing is great. Like,
Yeah.
Did you listen
and
to
he was always really good at it. I mean,
Oh,
I'm not surprised at all. Like, I was always lucky to be on with him. He was, just what a great guy. Really helped me get me started. But shout out to DJ for really helped get us started drinking on TV. I mean, you can't beat that. Like, you can't beat that. We're stupid.
Oh,
he'll
man.
he'll
Yeah,
love it.
It's funny because, in the past almost 2 years now that, the three of us have been doing this, my kids know me as their dad on TV because
Wow, that's really cool though. Actually.
because they watch all my shows on TV, because of all
Yeah.
the apps and everything. And, my daughter, who's 3 years old now, knows that I'm on television. And she goes up to people on the street. She goes up to family members, says, "My daddy's on TV." And, you know, I never thought that I would reach the point in podcasting and, you know, live shows and all that, you know, my family would be so comfortable in seeing me on television. So it's a little, it's nice, you know, I kind of feel like I made it in a way, you know.
You absolutely have. Yeah. I mean, I'm being serious. Like you've accomplished it. Like you're like everything you've done, and you've helped everybody along the way too with the technology. You were always the first one to like do something new, and then we followed along. And you always, you know, you update your look at your studio now. The difference that your presentation between when you started, you were always like, we were chasing you. Like it made us all better. I'm not lying. Like if somebody got a new mic, you're like,
have a mattress in my background, but I mean that's cool.
Some things never change, Brendan. Yeah,
but you sound great.
Yeah,
listen, you sound great.
You see the foil right there? That's insulation for my radio.
I sound like a fake veterinarian from Ohio, so you're lucky that you have the voice. I don't have that. If I wasn't so good looking, I don't even know if I could do this. I would be honest with you. No, but it is cool though. It is really
you know what,
neat.
Brendan? That's your shtick. That's part of Dad's Worldwide, is that you're broadcasting from Mom's basement. You know, so it's kind of it fits your.
Oh yeah, I kid, but no, I mean I can't let any of my kids listen to my episodes because I swear too much. But
But I was just getting ready to ask you the question. Though. I know before we got here, we're going long like we always do, but you know, I think about this every now and then.
This is only going to be a 30-minute episode.
How cool is it though that like you do have these archives of what you've done, like that, assuming nothing, like we assume that it'll all be on the interweb forever, but like it's kind of a neat thing that people can go back and like at this point I'm like over I'm in my third football season. So like I can go back to season 1 and be like, what did I say about this? Or what was I wrong about? Like it's just out there. Like if somebody ever like just, I mean, I just be honest, if something tragic happened to me tomorrow and somebody wanted to go, you want to get to know Jeff? There's literally, I don't know what I'm up to now, like hundreds and hundreds of shows that I've done that if you just wanted to like hear a viewpoint or just whatever, I think there's something cool about that outside of like, you know, failure to make it, you know, any money by now. Like, you know,
now we're getting serious. Yeah.
I just asking though. I think it's cool.
No, it's seriously, I back everything up on a external drive, and because I honestly want my kids to hear all my episodes because I talk about them and I talk about family and I talk about everything, and I want them to know that they are the most important thing to me.
And you do, like I think your episodes will be really like my kid listens to me. He's a football fan, so he listens to me on the way to work, which is awesome. Then he'll call me and tell me how stupid I am. But like you're exactly right. Like everything, like, you know, what you say about fatherhood and stuff is very important, and that's something that, you know, is absolutely, you should be proud of it. Like I'm not ashamed of anything I've done. I'm not ashamed of the friends I've made along the way. It's been a complete blast, you know.
I mean, I probably said some stupid things, but
yes, you have. I have a ton of stupid things. Like,
so have I. I mean, I'm partnered up with Frank, for God's sake. You know.
Yeah, but I'm saying, like, you know, 100% of the time you can't be spot on. Like you just can't.
Dude, I'm a sports podcaster. I'm wrong 80% of the time every week.
On my show, we couldn't remember the quarterback for what team, the Rams or whatever. I don't know, but I couldn't remember either. So, but you know, I didn't. You know, but
it happens.
You know, no.
Thanks for remembering that. Thanks for bringing that up today.
I was talking.
I needed that. I needed that boost.
I talking to my brother about that. And he's like, "Yeah, you guys were not even close." And I'm like, "Yeah, I know."
That was weird.
It was so bad. It was so bad. And then when I was talking to my brother about it, I said it wrong to him. He's like, "No, that's not right." I'm like, "Never mind." But
it just escaped me at the point. It was real, and the thing is, that's not. Yeah, but it was fun.
But that's the thing. Like that's what I'm saying. Like you can be perfect 99% of the time, and it doesn't matter. You're always going to have a screw up. Like you're always going to say something wrong. You're always going to say, but ultimately, like I want my kids to be able to listen to my shows. And it's like, well, Dad swore a little too much.
Oh my gosh!
but on the other hand, he was funny and he cared about us, and really, because
absolutely,
that. I mean, really, that's all I care about. I that's all I care about. Honestly.
Oh, you guys both. Your kids, your kids won't question. Like if they listen to them, they won't question how much you guys love your kids. Mine, not so. Actually, okay, I'm the only one here. I believe I'm the. Oh no, Brendan, you did a show with. Oh no, I believe you let your kids record a show. Did you do a show with your kids?
I did a show with my daughter last week.
Yeah, yeah.
So I've done a couple shows with my son. So that's something that like. It has happened. He's older. I mean, it's different because he can cuss too.
But no. Like my kids recorded a podcast. They think it's cool to do a podcast. Like
that's neat.
Yeah. They've done actually almost 24 shows.
I knew that they were doing it. That's so cool.
That's great.
I haven't done anything with them because I'm like, well, do I get a website?
That's fine. I don't think that's fine. It's there.
I just saved them. And
maybe wait till they're old enough and be like, hey, what do you want to do? And they'll say.
Listen, whatever. That's a perfect way to get someone to pay them. You want guys archived shows. You want the archive shows.
That's what I was just getting ready to say. Is like that's probably something that people, for whatever reason, it'll be like a time capsule. And everybody's like, it'll go big, and they'll make $1 billion off of it. You never know what's going to hit.
The new nudie kid photo, right? Like you're like, well, you want the archived audio?
But yeah, it's like, my kids, they see me and Frank cursing every weekend, every week and, talking inappropriate things. And I'm like, but we're funny, and
you guys are definitely funny. You guys definitely put your heart into it. There's no doubt about that.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
And, it's just, it's weird because like, I never would have thought that this podcasting would lead to me being so outgoing and so,
me too. I was kind of an introvert.
Yeah. And that was the way I was always.
Fuck it.
No, you're probably the most different, like not better or worse, just the most different than all the people that I started with, John. I'm being honest about that.
Me? I thought you were talking to Brendan.
No, Brendan's exactly the same.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
that freaking weirdo.
Brendan's like me. This is what Brendan did this at work probably 20 years ago. All I do is record. Like what you see of me is what I did at the bar every weekend watching sports. Like I haven't changed a bit. But I'm not saying it's better or worse, but you're just the most like evolved. You've gotten better. You've figured it out. Like
I was blown away when John told me that he was an introvert.
I still can't believe it. Every time he tells me,
I really am.
Do you think it stems back to being abandoned on a bicycle? Let's talk. It
probably was. Yeah.
And with that, gentlemen,
with a circle, he brought it back. Circle.
We laughed at John's most vulnerable moment. I am a horrible person. Sorry, Kitten. Shout out to Kitten.
Thank you very much for joining us today, everybody. Go subscribe or don't. I don't really give a shit to Dad's Worldwide and Jeff Needs Sports. No, I'm kidding. Go subscribe. Go listen to them. They're great guys. They have great shows. They have great guests. I mean, Dad's Worldwide. I mean, what do you guys got going on?
Oh, we just had Zach from the Plaid Jacket Philosopher on. We talked the big C word because he's from Canada. So
Canada.
Yeah, Canada. A boot. So and then I mean, go back last year. We had a Mermicorn Goddess on. We had Dad. How do I? Rob
that
Kinney.
Was a great episode. Yeah.
Thank you. It was so good. I really enjoyed it. Greg Langston from College Flight Plan. Your kids getting ready to go to college or just about to go to college. I mean, this guy helps them figure it out. I mean,
nice.
So a lot of good people going on.
Awesome. Jeff, what do you got going on over in Jeff Needs Sports?
Yeah, I'm quite the opposite. The NFL playoffs are ramping up, so we do really, really great shows over at Off the Ball Network, and they matter for like 2 days, but we take pride in that. And then until the next week when everything changes. But no, seriously, we just got done with the great college football season. The NBA guys over there I mean, seriously, I am not kidding. They're some of the smartest basketball guys on the planet. Wow. And, the NFL playoffs are going on for the next month. So we got a ton of content going on. So just go check out. Actually, we moved to Substack. We moved everything over to Substack. So now it's offtheballnetwork.substack.com. It helps organize things better. You can subscribe, get the articles and stuff emailed right to you. Kind of, it just kind of filtered things out better. So it's something we did for the first of the year. But then, of course, I'm Jeff Needs Sports. You can go catch me over there. But if you can't find me, you're probably not on social media because I'm always blabbing somewhere out in cyberspace. So, but I appreciate John. I appreciate you having me on. This show is great. You guys mean the world to me. I hope this continues. I hope 30 years from now we're doing whatever it is and looking back and laughing about the early days of drinking bourbon and pissing on camera and whatever it is, man. It's a wild ride. I'm glad we're all
getting
still
killed by veterinarians.
Awesome. Yeah. And I hope I don't get killed by an actual veterinarian.
Honestly, that would blow my mind if we're like 75 years old and still.
Oh, just be great with it. So let's do it. And we're gonna find a kid with the bike, John. We got you.
I will find you.
Yeah. Oh, Stone Cold Stunner
like
on
General
that.
Zod and Man of Steel. I will find him. Yeah.
Don't get. Now, if you're going to bring up that show, we're going to do 3 hours of a podcast on it. You know what, John? Let's do that.
No.
We can do it on Jeff Needs Help.
Okay. Yes, let's do that.
Where my new show?
People, don't forget to check out the Basement Surge.
And that's what I was just getting to, Brendan. Thank you very much.
Well done, Brendan.
Supposed to go to left field. I'm sorry.
Yeah. If you guys want more episodes of the Basement Surge, if you want to listen to previous episodes of the podcast, watch all of our videos, and maybe read our blog and buy some merch, head on over to the website, thebasementsurge.com, where you can get everything I just mentioned. Links to the guys' shows are down below in the show notes, so go check them out. Go subscribe. Go follow. Go ring that bell. Go do whatever the hell you got to do to get notified when these guys go live and drop new episodes. Guys, thank you very much for joining me.
Thanks for having us.
You're the best, man. Always.
All right, everybody. We will see you next week.
Let's go. Turn up the volume. From the basement of the Empire State, this is the Basement Surge with John and Frank.